Yo, he the manager. When you start making the big bucks. Yeah, like, please let him be the manager, yo. Yup. Nah. What if he, like, nah. Yo, if he's up in the joint, but now he's like kicking knowledge to people, like outside the store. Like he kicking knowledge, he got the bow tie on. Whenever you guys are. We got 2 documentaries, and we got the news of the whimsical trouble, the toil and trouble of T.I. Tiny Hands. So in other words, y'all wanna ban certain rappers from the show? Lord. You know what? But I take back the talk on Wale, because there was that song that PL sent you. Yeah, like and Wale came through on that verse, man. I'm not gonna front.
Oh, I didn't listen to that joint either. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all like I did.
Yo, he came through in the verse. It was a verse that did not know. I was like,
I don't hate Wale, but I haven't made up my mind about his music.
I'm not. I find it so crazy that y'all hate Wale. I don't hate Wale.
You said that after I literally said I don't hate Wale. You said it like literally 5 minutes.
You over-exaggerate, man. Like 2 of them don't like Wale, not all 3, bruh.
Okay.
I don't think any of us hate Wale.
I do.
No, this is where I'm at with Wale. It's not that I hate. I don't hate Wale. I just don't get it. Like I don't get it.
I can't stand his voice. I can't stand
I'm in
anything
the boat with
ever
you,
done.
I like listen to it. I'm like, alright. Like
it's cool. It's serviceable.
Yeah.
It's never better than serviceable.
Wow. Yes.
Can't even give it service.
Never better.
Come on, brother.
Never better.
Come on, brother.
Oh, we got Joe Greer the third.
Give me two bars.
What happened? I was trying to get, you know what I'm saying, about to put some beard oil up in that joint.
Yeah, I do got beard oil actually.
Is it Rich by Rick Ross?
Like a little bottle.
Keep it fresh and crisp, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, gotta crisp it up, man. The barber taught me a little something about my lines. I was edging my lines, you know what I mean?
Word.
I just like edging up how he edges up, you know what I mean? So I get my little game up, you know what I mean?
I see you. You know what I'm saying? I stay fresh. Cause you in the industry, you know what I'm saying? Yo, you making music. You know, when you walk into these ballrooms, you gotta have your beard oil going. You know what I'm saying? Walk into the ballroom, they're gonna be like, look, this is young brother. He left.
I'm out. He was tired of my beard talk. I'm good. I'm talking about it. Yo, y'all ever seen yo?
What we talking about?
I was just saying you left because I was talking about my beard, and it's like, nah, I'm good. This is the show. I don't want to be a part of
this. This is the show. I don't want to be on it.
Facts though. I'm not gonna be sitting up here with y'all. All y'all got beards. All y'all know I can't grow one. I'm not about to sit up here and let y'all disrespect me, B.
Oh man.
Yo, is your beard oil? You got Rich by Rick Ross?
Nah,
that's your beard oil.
Support Rick Ross in anything.
You about to support him Friday?
What's Friday?
Coming to America that was filmed in his house comes out.
I ain't watching that movie.
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't watching Coming to America.
Boycotting.
I'm boycotting Coming to America.
Hashtag boycott.
I know. I feel that look, because you are lying like a motherfucker right now. You about to watch that. I said I feel that look that you gave him because Arcka, you lying like a motherfucker. You about to watch that shit.
I ain't watching it, man. They look weird, man. I need the HD to be the SD. They need to go back to SD. They should have filmed this with like VHS, man.
Wow. Shoot on the straight VHS, the Betamax.
Handycam, man. Boom.
Yo, shoot on the mini disc or the little HD tapes.
Yeah. Wait, y'all see what album that is or no?
Yeah, I see it. That's D'Angelo.
Yeah, it's D'Angelo. I don't know if y'all can see that.
You were switching weekly?
Yeah, I just switched it today. I was beyond and just switched it up. But yeah, the last time I had it was last week. I thought it was like 2 weeks ago, but yeah. It feels like it's been out for more than a week, so.
All right. Flask.
Alright, cool. You ready? No, he still ain't ready. I was like, alright, cool. Oh, no.
Ready.
Alright, word? Alright, cool.
Yeah, I'm right here.
We're talking about it in these streets.
We die. If he dies,
If he dies. Late ill kid at OneYoungsta, hold it down, bring that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today all year, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, Beast Vibes Life. Cool show coming to you. We're gonna have some fun today. But with that said, I am joined by the rest of the 4 horsemen. All right, we're gonna start over here. All right, the conspiratorial one, Black Kanye. Other historians may call him the Long Beach Hove. Others also know him as Trap Just Blaze.
Trap Just Blaze.
PL Parker Lewiz.
What's good, y'all? Pardon me.
Oh, wow. Excuse me, sir. Oh, wow.
Well,
we can hit that mute button, sir.
Sponsored by Ghost Weed. The best high you'll ever have.
Okay.
Sponsored by Ghost Weed.
You'll be like, hi. You'll be like, whoa.
You good, PL? You good?
Yeah, how you gonna make me listen to that? I gotta listen to that album.
Yo, man, that joint is dope.
Oh, yeah.
So,
wait, is that
Admiral
Bionics
Square
or Mosaic Thump?
There's Mosaic Thump.
Yeah, I think that's Mosaic Thump.
Might have to
Because
skip
Bionics had the pastor in it, right?
I
haven't heard either in a long time.
I remember the pastor though in one of them. But anyway,
I know personally because that's the first.
I feel like that was Mosaic Thump. You talking
about
Mosaic
Thump? It's the first CD of De La's that I bought in my adult life, so that's why I remember it. So,
all right, cool.
It's actually the only one I bought in my adult life.
Only one I bought.
That's not saying anything about the group.
You gotta get more of those, man, just for the stash.
Yeah, gotta pick them up.
You gotta get your favorites, man.
You know what I'm saying?
At least your favorite.
Don't pick it up.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Oh boy.
Well,
Oh boy.
not a CD or vinyl. So, I mean, we'll talk.
I have no. Okay. If I was
about to break my heart.
I was talking about buying vinyl, and I don't see any of the De La in the vinyl category in my department.
Okay. All right.
Here's
a diagonal square.
We'll talk.
You know him as the person who has the verse of the year 2021. Anwar HighSign.
That's right. And when he says verse of the year, he means for time, where I also had man of the year. He's not talking about PL's album. That's the verse of 2021, 2022, and 2023.
Oh, snap.
So
okay. Sorry.
Yeah. He lumped it in because it's just easier to say. So,
yeah. No need to just be 2020 and all just put it all under one bucket.
Yeah. Just saying.
Why not?
And last but not least, the wig slicer himself. All right. ARC Father Part 3. What's up?
Greetings, Earthlings. Nah, but it's me, ARCKATRON, ARCKATRON.com. You can find me. Right now, I'm actually working on an artist residency. It's called Intersection with the great creative director, Khadija Ahmadiyya. Holla at me. Boom.
Oh, snap.
That's why I'm working on. That's why I had to go late.
Disturbing the peace.
You're doing things, man.
So we'll y'all go to my IG right now. You see what we were working on. Got a little teaser up there.
Yo,
and
man.
then holler at us. All right.
Don't sleep. You know what I'm saying? Do not sleep. So, do y'all want to talk about documentaries first or news first? You want to go in the news?
Aren't they all documentaries at the end of the day?
True. All right. Well, let's touch on the newest documentary. The newest documentary came by the way of Netflix. You have it, I have it, or you're using your dad's account, whatever. Netflix said, "Hey, we got to get some of this."
Using somebody's account. Nobody has their own account.
We got to get some of this hip hop documentary.
You got Patient Zero. Who's account zero? Because
there's one person that has the
Tom
account.
From MySpace is account zero.
Like somebody had to buy Netflix for all of us to have it.
It's Tom. He got all that MySpace money. He was like,
Netflix
I got
for everybody.
He was throwing out Netflix accounts.
Netflix for everybody. Throw out them bits.
All y'all. So they said, "Hey, look, the hip hop documentary game is real hot right now. You know what I'm saying? We need to talk about somebody. Who are we going to talk about? Who is someone who we can do a documentarian piece on? We ain't going to do a series. We just going to do one standalone piece. Who should we talk about?" And they said, "We'll talk about Christopher Wallace." That's right. The documentary, I got a story to tell. There's a couple of things that I figured I'd pull out for this because it's an interesting look at his life, and it's a little different, but it does also deal with what Anwar says he's tired of. So I know we're gonna get there, but this documentary shows a lot of kind of home movie footage from, remember like the old DV tapes, like that's when they was getting hot in the streets. Like I lost the dude's name now. The guy that was filming all the time. I can't remember his name.
D-Rock.
So he said he would just take a tape every day, put it in, and just film for the whole day. So that means that there's tons of footage of Big just being himself, which is something that I really enjoy. Like him not having to kind of like put on for like MTV or Vibe or BET or, some kind of red carpet or something. Just being himself with his friends. And that's something that I really liked about this. I want to throw it to the panel. What did you guys, care at all about this documentary? Was it interesting to you in any in any light? Look at that.
Who wants to go first? I already know what your answer is, bruh.
I'll go. I haven't watched this documentary, man.
Oh,
I'm not gonna hold you.
Half the panel hasn't, so I'm with you.
I didn't watch this. I'm a huge B.I.G. fan. It's like I pretty much feel like I know the story already. I have been hearing from other people that have watched it that it's great. It's very well put together, especially with that bonus footage from D-Rock. You get to see inside, in depth, and get a real good look on who he was and his usual day-to-day activities and things of that nature. So I think I will end up checking it out because
this your duty, man. You're from Brooklyn.
Yeah, so
you were the person that's supposed to watch this for everybody.
It's like how many times you gonna beat the this is a bad pun, but how many times you gonna beat a dead horse?
Yeah. No, I do.
It's like a double bad pun. It's like a double bad pun.
That was a bad pun, bro.
I know. But I did hear, like I said, it sounded like it was well put together. I will check it out. But
come on, BKMC. Come on, BKMC.
Oh, not BKMC. Oh, Lord. Now, also that's someone I don't want to talk about on the show.
Also banned from the show.
Unless you're impersonating him.
I mean, I could do that, but I ain't gonna do it today. Yeah, I mean.
So here's my thing about the documentary. You know, like I wasn't initially interested in it for reasons stated last week. And my mom's happened to be watching it and she was enjoying it. And I was like, all right, like I'll give it a couple minutes. And then it turned out to not be about what I thought it was going to be about, which was the beef and his death. And it turned out to be about just his life up to the point that he died. But it was more about his life. It was more about what kind of a kid he was and who his friends were and what were the bonds that he had with his friends and why, you know, like the impact that certain people had on his life and the steps that occurred for him to reach the position that he reached. And it was so refreshing to just see more of a celebration of the guy. Yeah. And going like, yo, like these are the things that these are the components that made up this artist that you know and love for so many years. You know, like just even seeing people that I've never knew were in his life or had seen before, like the jazz musician that took a liking to him, and seeing his 96-year-old grandmother, who I never knew existed. I didn't know she was even still alive. We never talked about her, never spoke to her. I've never seen a statement from her anywhere. No. It was just really refreshing to you know, to have his life covered from that standpoint instead of, you know, like let's start, explore, and end with his beef with Tupac, the East Coast, West Coast rivalry, and his shooting. That's actually just a footnote in the documentary. They only touch on that at the very end because it actually happened. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that's where it ended. So yeah, like that made it like a very easy watch for me. That actually made it a recommendation for me. You know, if you enjoy Biggie, you know, you'll enjoy taking a trip back.
I think I'm after listening to what Anwar said about it, I'm more of a documentary dude anyway. I actually, surprisingly at this current moment, do not have Netflix. So that's a whole nother exactly. What? Never been a case in my whole life, but now I just do not. We've cut some things out. Like Netflix was one of. We kind of ran through.
Is it because they put the price up? No.
I
know they put the price up, but you know,
we had to cut some things out. You know, sometimes
we had to wig slice them.
Sense. I mean, we got things going on over here. You know what I mean? Like in the future, so we gotta start slicing where we can slice. And Netflix, you know what I mean? We trying to do things. So
if there's certain things that you need to watch, I'll let you know because you still have the internet. There's alternative means to be able to view.
Oh, I know.
Content.
I just didn't catch. I'd be missing
What you mean?
Stuff in our chat.
I'm just saying, there's ways.
Alternative means?
I didn't even know. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. There's a whole thing, but
maybe
I don't know.
Maybe there's another browser or something. I don't know. I mean,
Another browser?
No. I'm.
Is there another browser, Mike?
I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe
what do you mean, man?
I'm curious. I'm curious about the key in that world, sir. So I'm good.
I'm about to start answering y'all like Haitian Jack up in this joint.
Yeah.
But
I've been known to put holes through people.
Or like
multiple holes. All right.
Yeah.
Great.
In the Biggie documentary, when they talk about O's death, all we hear is there's principalities and loyalty. Then all of a sudden it gets really vague, and his uncle killed him. That's all we know is that there's principalities, there's loyalty. It gets vague, and his uncle killed him. And I was like, yeah. It reminds me of that Most Def line about beef is when a gangster ain't doing it right and other gangsters done decided what to do with his life. It's like,
oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, it got kind of vague around like what happened. It just all of a sudden got vague.
I'm get the gist.
Yeah, like okay, we understand. But I did like the humanness, seeing like just him chilling on a day-to-day basis. I did like seeing the jazz musician and how he was like approaching rhyming at that time. Seeing Puff is always a beautiful thing to see. The reason, okay, here's why I love Puff. Because every time I see this, y'all know like the Chappelle Show joint where he's like, yo, he always says people don't want to see him shine, but he looks shiny to me. Like, dude, when they was showing pictures of him back then, like he's cheesing, it's like the silkiest of silky shirts, and like I'm just like, Puff is like that dude that's your boy, but he's like extra, but it's like you know him since 3rd grade, so you just let it ride. It's like, that's Puff. Like every photo I saw, I was like, this dude, like my man. Do you ever just throw on a t-shirt to like run to the store real quick, or like is that just not an option for you?
I don't know t-shirt. What is a t-shirt?
T-shirt.
Nah, Puff ain't wearing t-shirts.
The finest silks touch this body.
Yeah.
But
that sounds about right.
Oh man, but yeah, seeing Puff in there was cool to add in these small little parts because there's a bit of this that kind of coincides with what we've been hearing from the Hip Hop Uncovered documentary, which we'll get into a little bit later, which is how he's like, all right, cool. I went to this, there was a barbecue over here, and I went over there, and then this dude knew this dude, so this dude told this dude, and then like it was like 2 levels. Like his boy took him over to the street barbecue or whatever. Then he knew a guy that knew Mr. C. And then I think Mr. C knew Maddie C. And then I was like, once he said Maddie C, I was like, oh, I remember the Unsigned Hype. Because I used to get the Source religiously. That's back when the Source was worth reading. You can forget about it now. But wow, I used to get that joint monthly.
Yes. All right, you just
slicing. Man.
But everybody know that.
Like once he said Maddie C, I was like, oh, that's how he got the Unsigned Hype.
Yo.
So that even connected some dots for me where I was like, oh, cool, now I get it. And it's just showing like how the street in a way will kind of like help connect and elevate, this person that, had this immense talent and just kind of like moving him along and stuff like that. Those things that are like, kind of like the intangible stuff where it's like, oh, well, I put in a word for you. Just go over there, they'll listen to your tape or whatever. Or, I called this person, what I'm saying? They're going to let you come over here and do whatever, that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed the kind of connecting of the dots on that too. But I enjoyed it. I did. I liked those tapes, seeing Lil C's. And what up, Jenna James? What up, Joe Greer? Nice to see y'all up in the spot. Also to see Lil Kim up in there back when Lil Kim was Lil Kim. And I'm not going to argue with y'all today. I ain't going to do nothing with y'all. Look, I'm just saying that when Lil Kim was Lil Kim, she was just Lil Kim. You know what I'm saying? I thought she was fine how she was. I'll just leave it like that. But it was good to see those times and how, just how relaxed he was and how tense he was around like his mother and cancer, his child, then the issue going on with like his own life with kind of like one foot kind of in the drug game still, because you don't know how this music thing going to go. Because even Puff, I knew that Puff and Andre Harrell had a falling out of some sort, but I never knew. Puff said Andre Harrell came in and was like, look, there ain't going to be two kings. And
yeah.
So essentially, Puff didn't get fired because he didn't do a good job. Puff got fired because he was doing awesome. Like, essentially, Puff got fired because he was doing an amazing job. Andre Harrell said, look here, all right, you ain't taking my job. So what you gonna do is get up out of here. But yeah, I would recommend it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. And seeing just the man really, really inspired me, especially the parts about like Jamaica and stuff, and like just seeing how, and I mean, I've never been to Jamaica, so I don't know, but at least the shots that they show, it looks so like peaceful and tranquil. It's all green, lush greens and stuff and everything. So it just looks so great. I mean, it did.
Lush greens.
It was like beautiful green. It was just like kids jumping in the water and stuff, and just having a good time. Like, it wasn't
it's some parts like that, but like everywhere,
Yeah, it was like other parts. It is not lush green.
It's not lush green. It
looks beautiful and tropical. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
And one was like, nope.
No, I've never been. It was just like,
cool. But I've never been, but it looked nice. You know what I'm saying?
PL, you been in Jamaica?
Full time, Reggie.
What's your thoughts about Jamaica?
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Just
well,
make sure you know where you're going.
We saw when PL went the first time. Hype Williams was with you that time. That's when you and Ox. That's the time with Ox.
Yeah,
right?
you and Ox went.
Yeah.
He had you. How was that party looked crazy, bro? How was that party?
Was wild.
Word.
Did he ever hook you up with that girl he was talking about? Hooking you up with a girl that night or something?
Nah, he did.
You got to fill me in after we finish the show, bro.
Nah, he didn't.
See, I went one time and I stayed right near the beach. Boy,
you still waiting, man? Don't be saying that around Drake.
What is that from, yo?
It's from.
You gonna get kneecapped, man. Don't be saying that around the Jamaican boy.
It's from Half Baked.
Oh man, I have not seen Half Baked.
It's from Half Baked. And so it's from Half Baked. He's going to see Samson, right? And is he going to see Samson? I think he's going to see Samson. And he's pretending to be like this roster that's from Jamaica. He's like, Jamaica, what part? He was like, right near the beach. So every time I think
that movie is hilarious, yo. I gotta watch.
I love having.
I haven't seen that movie in years, yo.
But yes, every time it's like, look, I need to. You know what? I'm gonna watch Luke Cage season 2 and get me some more Jamaican references. I gotta pull some references from that too.
It's not bad because actually, like, surprisingly, like they're all the accents hold up, and I was just like, I didn't even know. I thought the main dude was Jamaican, at least like the way he spoke. I heard, man, he sounded like he was an English scholar. I'm like, what? What's happening here? But he was from America. He was an American scholar. He
was American.
He switched up.
He switched up crazy. Once, Mustafa. I've met him like twice. Because I filmed him at some poet joint like way back. But when I saw him, I was like, oh snap, he's on the come up. And I was like, he trying to beat up Luke Cage. All right, I see you.
Bushmaster, yeah.
I'm gonna give me some more references from Luke Cage season 2.
That's probably a better place to get references from, not from Half Baked. I'm just like, let me put that out there for you. Let me help you out.
I still want to be right near the beach though. It was just you gotta see it, man. I can't.
I've seen Half Baked before. I've seen Half Baked plenty of times. I know what you're talking about.
Then you were like, where'd it come from?
I'm just saying, don't be saying that around Jamaican people, man.
Please.
You might get kneecapped, and you might not have no kneecaps when you come back to.
Like,
he's gonna have no knees.
Yo, why you got a limp, man? What happened to your knees?
You're gonna have more than a limp.
I said I was
right
near
limp
the
and
beach.
Lumps.
I said I was right near the beach and like a whole bunch of
yeah.
beat me up.
Limp and lumps. That's what you're gonna have.
Apparently Jamaicans do not like Dave Chappelle.
Hey, I'm just saying. No, I'm talking about. Think about this. Remember what Haitian Jack said? Who do you hang out with?
True. Yeah, he said he hung out with the Jamaicans.
Yeah, but he also said something else too about the Jamaicans.
Well, because they
don't play that jokes and games type time.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm teasing thing.
They ain't
going for that at all.
But see, the thing
Mike,
is,
you've heard the Flip Mode album.
It's a reference.
You've heard the Flip Mode album, right?
Yes, I've heard the
Flip Mode album. It is a reference that is not so ubiquitous that it will readily be.
Yeah. I'll be like, it's Dave Chappelle. Stop.
Stop.
Haven't y'all seen that?
I said, lead the jokes to Dave, bro. Lead the jokes to Dave.
News at 11. Black man cries out that Jamaicans hate Dave Chappelle movies. Oh, man. But with that said, we got some news. Yes. The hip hop community has been rocked lately.
There you go. Every time you start like that, it's got to be some nonsense, yo.
It's not about hold on. It's not about to be. It's not about to be nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, I'm you know what I'm saying, roll with me. You know what I'm saying?
Rolling. I'm in the car with you.
All right.
I'm in the car. Let's go.
Days ago, hip hop was rocked to its core, shaken, if you will. Reports of T.I. and Tiny sexually abusing and trafficking women have surfaced. Coming from Instagram, there were allegations of not only threatening, but also completely and forcefully engaging in acts with young ladies from both parties. T.I. Alleged to use a gun to force women into acts, and then also Tiny being called the ringleader. There's been over 60 allegations, only 11 women that came forward.
60 allegations.
11 women came forward for criminal prosecution, and this has shaken hip-hop to its core. There have been factions on the left and the right, some saying that T.I. is wrong and horrible and he should be gone immediately, and then some saying, no, I'm going to ride with T.I. until the wheels fall off, because I do not believe that a man such as T.I. would do this.
A man such as T.I.
Now, let's see. Okay, so this young lady comes out and she's like, hey, look, you assaulted me, you assaulted other women, you know you wrong, and this is my only way to get back at you because, I don't have any power, so this is what I'm going to say. T.I. then comes out. He has a video on Instagram saying, like, look, I didn't do this. I didn't do anything. Anything that has gone on in our bedroom has been completely consensual, and this is just, if it's something that we like and they like and we do it together, it's our business, that's where it is. And he says, I'm preparing, the truth is going to come out. I got lawyers and, they got lawyers and everything's going to be revealed or whatever.
better lawyer up.
Wait, that's what T.I. said, or were you paraphrasing?
Well, I'm it's an 8-minute video. But basically,
does he use any big words in it?
Yo, why do people hate that?
He does use the word egregious. But it's egregious. It's egregious.
It's egregious. I mean, I heard it from Stephen A. Smith. He used it all these years. It's fine.
See, you know, it's egregious.
People always like clown him for using English.
Well, it's because it's not that. There's not. The thing is because T.I. falls into this bucket of funny style dudes who are now
not. No, it's not. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
You don't think T.I. is funny style?
T.I. is
no, I don't think that's the reason why people make fun of him using big words.
Okay.
I don't have an impression on him whether or not he's funny style. I don't have a horse in that race. But it is, you know, tiresome for the guy to use 3 syllables and get cooked for it on every time.
Yeah, that is weird. It is weird. I will give you that.
I was actually making sure that it was him that said it, because if he didn't use big words, and then it ain't T.I. That's why that was not
directed or including you, by the way.
No, I knew that. I was just clarifying.
There's no dissension within the Horsemen. I'm not.
We got beef, son. We got beef.
I'm not breaking news in the other square.
Breaking news.
So, the thing here, I'll say it. I'm honestly on the fence. Do I put this past T.I.? No, I don't put it past him. He's talked out both sides of his neck before.
Tell me why, son.
I don't put it past him because, you know, he's talked out both sides of his neck before. He's definitely talked about, you know what I'm saying?
Talking a lot of shit doesn't make you a rapist, though.
What I'm saying is talking about outside of your neck. You can be saying, I didn't do it, and you really did it.
Give me an example. What I mean. I'm not too familiar. Give me an example.
What I'm saying is like he'll say
like something an instance of that. I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. So remember when he came out, and I don't know the exact date, but he came out. He's like, man, I want to make. Now this is paraphrasing. I want to make music without talking about drugs or whatever, and they won't let me. And people was like, but didn't you build your whole career on that? Well, I don't want to do anymore. Then it's like, all right, cool, make some. And then he was like, oh, well, you know, I gotta make it like this. Then he's like, oh, well, not only do I have to do it, but then I'm gonna make the crack museum. So it's like, my dude, like, your actions
the crack?
really lining
literally
up.
A museum about crack?
Well, it's a trap museum. It's a trap museum.
Oh, the trap museum. I thought you said crack. Oh, okay, I got you. I remember what you're talking about. I was like, man, I missed that one.
It's kind of about trap museum. That's a new one. The crack museum.
Man, it's kind of about
hard.
He doubled down.
So what I'm saying is, so he'll do is say like, "Yo, man, I want to make this like, you know, I want to be Talib Kweli real bad," but then he won't do the actions of, well, dang, I can't even say that.
Why you saying Talib Kweli out of all the people? What are you talking about, sir?
So here's
that's funny. That's a funny style.
So then you run a trap museum, but then you want to be kind of like the honorary city council member of Atlanta is talking about This Is Wakanda, while sort of nannying people that are rising up against the violence, the same violence that you spoke against, you know, in other conferences before, but now it's like, hey, y'all, chill out and go home, where it's like, nah, now this is a little more Killer Mike than him, but it's like, yo, didn't you make a song called Burn This Down? And now both of y'all coming up here talking about, hey, everybody go home? So they've been, people could say that they've been schizophrenic in ways when it comes to their representation within the culture. So that's why I'm saying I wouldn't put it past him. He's flip-flopped a lot, but it's very rare for someone in his position.
Flip-flopping on rape, but not rape right now. That's my concern. That's my concern. Let me flesh my concern.
All right.
Or let me. Well,
hold on. Let me finish my point. The one thing that I think.
Let me say it real quick because I want you to like continue your point with this part. So like my concern is that we're taking actions that we don't like or behaviors that we don't like and sort of like escalating the culpability of the person, which is not, like who knows what they did or did not do.
Yeah.
We all have our opinions on it, whether they did or did something. But like, like a person doing things like saying they want to like be less street in their entertainment and then like making an entertaining museum about the street thing is like way less nefarious than what they're accused of. So like, are we falsely or unjustly escalating what he and his lady are capable of? Because I'm sick of these words and why you keep talking about people and jumping in their business, and like I'm sick of that TV show still on, like I don't want us to sort of
no. See, I was on the show. It's a shame that it's been shut down in production. Don't sleep. 2 of the Horsemen were on the show because BBL is so good.
Oh yeah, we were on that show. I forgot.
Marvel actually cut him from the movie too.
Fact, yo,
we were on that show.
Yeah, I remember I saw that on an actual television. And I was like,
I forgot about that. Yo, totally forgot about it. We were on
my mom watched it. I came in the room like, whoa, repeat it again? Hold on, wait a minute. Yo, I know that guy. I know those guys.
Was that Chappelle? I know those guys.
Did he?
No, that's exactly something you've been saying. I've been watching on Chappelle at least recently. So,
but one thing that I do like that he did is normally people in his position, like really rich, powerful, well-to-do people that are accused of this, he came out quick and was like, "No, didn't rape nobody. I didn't do this." Usually it's this vague, like, what I'm saying? I don't know if they felt hurt, but we'll
really lawyery.
He came out and he was like, "I didn't do it. I didn't rape nobody. I didn't touch nobody. This is false." So then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's what I like to see. I do like, because usually it's like this vague speak about like, if they felt. Matter of fact, Cuomo just did this. This whole like, if anybody felt offended, I did not mean to. He did this whole press conference of like, I didn't know I was hurting people's feelings. But there was no intention of it. It's like, oh, come on. So,
I got to ask a question.
All right, go ahead.
Somebody's been super, super quiet. PL, what do you think about
PL got the conspiracy.
Okay. Conspiracy P, what do you think? Rather I'll say Conspiracy P. What's your thoughts?
About the situation?
Yes, about the situation, sir. Yes.
About T.I. and Tiny.
I will keep it brief.
All right.
Like I will agree with NERDSoul on the point that I don't put this past him, because I don't put anything past anybody. With that said, a lot of these stories that are coming out really don't make sense and they lack accountability. I'm done. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, ARCKATRON, have you gotten wind of this trend at all?
I read a little something, but you know what? I'm with Pierre. I don't know these people. I don't know what people are capable of because I don't know them. I ain't in the house. I ain't around their children. I ain't around their family. I don't know them. So I wouldn't put it past them either way, yay or nay. I just feel like, and I'm also with Anwar. I don't want to jump to no conclusions. I'm not jumping to I'm not drawing no clear linear line to whatever happened, because these are allegations and it's hearsay.
Yeah. Like
right now, how are you gonna?
they are supposed to be starting a criminal investigation.
Start the investigation, and when we have word that he did it, then we can just start throwing things at him. You know what I mean? But until then, it's alleged.
Yeah, like right now, I will say, even though I'm not a T.I. fan, I'm not a T.I. fan, but I will say he did do something that I like to see people do, which is come out and immediately say, hey, no, I did not do this. It wasn't anything vague. He explicitly said no.
What people didn't? But wait, who are you talking about? It's not like you trying to take shots at somebody. Who trying to take shots at that didn't
most
do
recently,
that?
actually, since this is both going on at the same time, Cuomo in New York. I mean, he was very vague.
Okay,
what was it earlier today in his press conference? Very vague, and we'll be talking about that on Friday, guys. But
why does that mean so much to you guys? Like the time frame of the person saying something.
Don't matter to me, but
in defense. Quickly, rather than like, why does the more time that passes like diminish?
For me, it's more of a natural response kind of thing. Like, say if you were to say, all right, Anwar, say if you were to say like, hey, you stole my headphones, I'd be like, no, I didn't. That's more of a natural response. If I didn't, but if I did, you get this delay and kind of calculation of like the right response to kind of give in front of people. And usually what happens after we do a whole, investigation of these guys, usually you find out, or no, women too, because old girl that got caught out there, she blamed Harvey Weinstein and she groomed some young boy and she got caught out there. And then there was another woman in the gaming community that groomed some boy too that people were talking about. And then of course you have Amber Heard, but that's a little.
I think I heard about that.
Yeah. But this whole thing. And shout out to Sandra Thomas. Shout out to Yamani Adams. Nice to see y'all. For me, it's more of a natural response thing. If you don't respond, for me, if you don't respond in more of a natural human way, then I start to ask questions. I start to ask more questions than I normally would. Now, maybe that's wrong, but say if I was to accuse you, say if I was to say, Anwar, you stole my socks. You'd be like, no, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't wait for like a week to have a press conference and then be vague, Oh, but go ahead.
It falls apart when you reach the court level. Like once if I stole a U-Haul truck of your socks and we were going and you accused me publicly and we're going to court for it, then the factors change. I may be advised to not say anything.
Yeah. Okay.
You say can be used against you in the court of law.
Yeah, I guess you could say you have the lawyer route where they're like, hey, don't say nothing. Because you I also
we also forget these people's level of fame. Mm-hmm. What they say in response to it has a literal impact on their career after that moment.
How about this? Correct. I got an example. What happened with the Common and Jaguar Wright thing?
Yeah, you're right. They didn't respond to that.
He did eventually say something, but it was way later.
What did he say?
He said it was untrue and that the gist of it was that, it was untrue and he would never do those kinds of things to a woman, let alone her. And that he's, has prayers up for her because it seems like she's going through something.
Yeah, I remember that. I kind of remember that.
Okay. Yeah, that is a good example of, because I think the first person to say something was Dice Raw. And he was like talking about mental health or something. Yeah, that's your boy Dice Raw.
He basically said, she has mental health issues and she's going through some stuff, so we should pray for her.
Yeah. So that is a good example of someone not saying something. And the guy from Screen Junkies that was accused like 2 years ago or something, and he said nothing. He said nothing at all. And he had like this whole lawyer thing. And then
was it Screen Junkie? Was it what's that show?
Andy Signor, that's his name. So Andy Signor, he didn't say nothing for like 2 years. And then once the case was over, then he came out and was like, look, here's text messages, here's emails. I ain't do nothing. Not at the same time, 2 years is a long, but he after seeing the emails and text messages, it's like, oh, you didn't get raped. You was down for this. So yeah, we all owe you a like, and I even I had a podcast because I made a video about it. Like, yo, we need a response. You gotta say something. You gotta do something. So then later on, I did a podcast saying like, yo, now we need a response from these ladies. We got all these text messages, all these emails. And
hey,
from the
ladies.
the emails is like, yo, I'm in your town. I'm at this hotel. Like, what's the deal? And women that already know he's married talking about some that 2 years ago was talking about he was preying on me, he was touching me, blah, blah, blah. So then on the flip side, I gave the same energy. I'm like, look, we need statements. But then of course, due to the
climate,
the energy on Twitter and Facebook and stuff,
the climatization of Twitter.
We don't need to respond. We don't need to respond. It's like, no. Actually, you do need to respond because you set this up. You made this a thing.
We don't need to respond. Men need to stop raping women.
But he didn't do it. It's all kinds of stuff right here when you talking to him and you telling him you want to meet him and you was thanking him after you saw him like let's see you next time and next time we get together. So you was not raped. Like this is just two people having an affair. Like, and there's nothing wrong with having no, there is something wrong with having an affair. But what I'm saying is like, there's nothing wrong with you doing what you do, but you weren't raped. That's what I'm getting.
All I'm saying.
You weren't raped. And maybe you need to respond to some of these text messages and emails where it looked like you just someone that's trying to get down. And so, so I will give you that. Those are two instances where people didn't say anything, and we found out until Jaguar's documentary come out. Remember, she said she got a documentary.
Also, I thought of another reason one might not say anything.
He came out hot scorching.
Sometimes artists don't want to lend credibility to the thing by acknowledging it, in hopes that, like it will go away. And sometimes it does. Like Common again is a good example. Like when she said it, it just didn't catch any real traction.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
Like it got mentioned a couple times and then like people were generally like, yeah, nah.
But is that because of our preconceived notions about Common and like, nah, Common?
It is absolutely that.
Okay, it can work both ways.
That guy,
it can work both ways. Like a guy like T.I., we're like, yeah, we can. Some people might just draw that conclusion, and then but Common, we're like, nah, draw the same conclusion, or like the opposite way. We're like, nah, he's not guilty, but maybe he did do it. You know what I'm saying? Like. Yeah, he's just saving face. Like, nah,
it just really like he's one of those rare instances where no part of it was on brand with him at any point in his career.
Yeah,
like there wasn't a thing that happened anywhere along the route where someone could raise an eyebrow and like when you're a certain type of guy and like, okay, well, I found out about you cheating on your wife, you was in the strip club, you was fighting so-and-so, you got arrested with some guns, you had this happen, so-and-so said you this and that. Then somebody says, him and his wife raped me. And suddenly it's a little more, you take a little more time to consider it.
Okay.
Calm, like you just never heard anything but some good raps. And then like, yo, he stuck his penis, and you're like, man, get out.
Also remember, Jag had another issue. No one ever came out and was like, yeah, this did happen to me. Like no one else, like at least in the T.I. situation, at least there's 11 other women out here. I don't know exactly what they said.
That's true.
But at least there's 11 other women. Jag, ain't nobody, not even one extra person came out. And then remember, Jag's story was like, I taught everybody everything. Like I taught Most Def how to rhyme. I taught Black Thought how to rhyme. I taught Common how to rhyme. I taught Jill how to sing. I taught Erykah Badu how to sing. I taught
Erykah Badu to how to dress Common. I taught her all that stuff.
Like, I was the master of everything.
and that's like the double-edged sword of it, because like it flops either way at any given instance, you know.
But what if this time this particular thing actually he did do?
I would be crushed.
He's a smooth criminal.
I honestly would be crushed if
Annie,
it came out. If we found out for real proof that Common did what she said, I'd be like, "Are
you okay?"
I'd be like, "Oh man!" But yeah,
I'm just saying.
Jag's situation was kind of she kind of blew her own argument. Because I was like, well, you know how these things go. Someone comes out, and you know, usually some other people come out and say, yeah, this happened to me too, blah blah blah. Like Cuomo out there, it's like 8 other women now. It's another dude talking about he done did something. So it's mad people like, yo, he's either abusing power or he's touching my butt or he's doing all kinds of stuff. Jaguar came out, ain't nobody say nothing. They was like,
well, maybe hers just a one-off, and maybe the other people just piling on, like you know, like the T.I. thing, like the Cuomo thing, like the like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do y'all think that's, you know, like do y'all think that like lends any credence or takes away anything? Because like some cases,
I mean, sometimes
you know, like this
sometimes
Cuomo,
no.
Cosby, what's homie's name? The record dude. The film dude.
I thought you were Russell Simmons.
Like all those guys, Russell Simmons as well. But like when someone comes, well, maybe not Russell, because not as
Russell Simmons said, "I believe me and I believe her." Yo, I'll never forget that.
Like this makes it now. That is super suspicious, man.
I would never forget
you know,
that.
Like
I remember
he's like, I believe both sides of the story.
Like, what do you look like? Like, what if, like, Mike? What if I stole your socks and then you accuse me of it and I left the country? That's you'd be like, yo.
I'd be like, he did that.
He ran halfway around the earth to get away from this fade. That's crazy.
Like, he did that.
Have to find this guy.
But and also say this: I believe Mike's story and I believe my story. Yeah, I mean, Mike will say like, "I believe your story that you stole it," or like you just said like, "I believe your story that you stole it," and I also believe my story that I didn't steal it.
I kind of like that verbiage, to tell the truth, because it's like, it's like I'm not trying to diminish
your story,
what you went through, or think that you went through.
Wow.
So like, while simultaneously saying I did not do that. And I'm sure something happened to you. It just
see what you did a little move right there. You was literally shaking.
Russell Simmons came with the DMX response. When DMX was in Belly,
like, huh?
She's lying. She's lying. Basically, is what he.
That was basically what it was saying, bro.
Yo,
but it was a nice way to say it.
So
I don't know. That's the equivalent. That's like,
but him
sort of like
leaving the country is
very legalese version of I don't know no Kiana.
Yo,
but him leaving the country,
him leaving the country, it wasn't a good look.
Very suspect chin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and didn't he try to blame it on COVID? Didn't he try? I'm trying to remember.
No, it was before COVID hit.
Oh, this was before.
He did.
He
did.
Yeah.
COVID. He left because of COVID.
Oh, he was like, yo, man, I left. You know what I'm saying? I had some business out here. It's like, why don't you come back? Nah, man, I'm chilling right now.
But like, does that affect it in y'all's mind? Like the numbers, do the numbers affect y'all? Like if it's like 50 women come out against a person or 60 women, like does that affect it? Does that make y'all? Which way does that make y'all go? Like
yes and no.
All these people. Nah, I don't believe y'all.
Like with
or like all
like right now with T.I. the number at 11, I'm like, okay, that's a believable number, cool. But like with Cosby, when it got to like 35, I was like, all right, now this is comical. Hold up.
You keep saying the T.I. number is at 11. Well, the T.I. number is at 60.
Well, yes, but I'm counting. I'm trying to only count the women that are in the criminal proceeding. Because people always want to make the distinction of the criminal. So technically there's 60, but there's 11 in the criminal proceeding. So
got it.
There's 60 women in that, and that's where it gets kind of comical, where it's like, yo, it's a lot of women for nobody to have never. But I mean, I guess maybe T.I. got mad power. I mean, R. Kelly was threatening people's parents. I mean, I guess allegedly, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, so maybe T.I.'s threatening people's parents. I mean, we know he takes guns.
That's another name we should never speak of. We getting all the names out today. This is it. This is the last time you're gonna hear these names.
Right here, right now.
So, you've heard it last, not first. So, you've heard it last right here on the show.
So maybe he did this, but I mean, 60 is like where it becomes kind of comical, where it's like, hold up, for real? 60? So this dude did this to 60 people, or a version of this to 60 people, and like nobody ever but maybe they did, and like the story got suppressed. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, how do you have those kind of numbers and like never mess up enough to go to jail for a straight rape charge? Like, oh, I went to the police right after it happened, and then like statistics, I don't know. I mean, I guess statistics and everything. All
right, let's even if you want to, go movie style. Let's say if you could pay off half of them, that still leaves 30 people that you have to like try to like silence by other means. Were you just killing them? Are you like giving them jobs or something, or
giving them jobs?
Like, I mean, because what I'm saying is like, if you're supposed to say there's 60 people, and I'm like,
you're like a stipend. 60 people. Like, I'm just going down the line of logic of like, say if we got 60 people, right?
That's
like,
crazy.
I figure you can't buy everybody. Everybody can't be bought. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you can buy off half of them. That still leaves 30 whole people.
But them 30 people still gotta be able to get it together and get the lawyers and all. It's not just like, oh, we just gonna just go in and go to court against these people. You gotta have the right amount of. That's why they gang up. That's why they like try to do some like class action suit type stuff. Because if they do it by themselves, they're gonna be left hanging dry. Because a lot of times, even in like just general like business or any kind of like court proceedings or whatever. A lot of times, is the who got more money, they just wait you out. Oh, we can't do it today. We'll do it 2 months from now. Like, what? I gotta wait 2 more months to get the verdict on this case? They just keep running the clock.
Bleed you dry.
Literally, they're with the ball at the end of the game, but the clock ain't moving. And you can't get the ball from them. That's them.
All right, word. Good one. So, with this, I'm still waiting and seeing. I don't super care about T.I., so it's not like I'm like, like, oh man, not my man T.I. But I mean, I hope it's
not very Christian of you.
But at the same time, I hope it's not true because, you know what I'm saying? It's another brother, you know what I'm saying, getting shot dead in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, I guess in social terms, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want a brother go down like that, you know what I'm saying? T.I.
T.I. got guns. Got guns
I wouldn't wish jail on my worst enemy. You know what I'm
saying? So hopefully, but the only thing is that still creates another issue. If T.I. is completely right and he did nothing wrong, then that means that 60 people, at least 11 of them, got together in a conspiracy to make T.I. the rape guy. You know what I'm saying? Which is also not good. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
This is untrue.
The Horsemen will follow this and we'll let you know what happens.
We're not talking about the man ever again. His name is off the show. So yeah.
His name's off the show. We'll say Mr. Harris. We won't say T.I. anymore. Look, man, it's hip hop news.
I guess.
No, he got you with the contract.
If we ain't talking about his songs, it's ain't hip hop news. He ain't make when last time the song came out. We come out. When it came out.
It's still hip hop news.
I think 2020.
Ja Rule came out with an app. It was hip hop news. Is the app worth using? No, but it's still hip hop news.
Is it hip hop news? Ja Rule still a part of hip hop? When last time he dropped?
Look, man, everybody knows Ja Rule started in hip hop, so it's hip hop news.
This is what I feel. It's a reach.
Keeping it mad silent over there.
See that right here? It feels like this right here. Slight reach. I can't. Hold on. I got it. Reach.
Oh man. Anyway, Last but not least, we have 2 new episodes of Hip Hop Uncovered. I'd like to throw out a piece. Well, I'd like to get from everyone something that stood out to them. But something that stood out to me was Snoop D-O-double-G. If I could read from this passage as I paraphrase, everybody want to talk about Suge doing bad stuff. They never talk about the good stuff he did. Mm-hmm. Snoop watches the show. OG Snoop got love for you, man. Like a lot of your music. You know what I'm saying? I always thought you were a cool guy. There's a term called overshadow. And see, the things that Suge done that was negative overshadows the good thing. Why don't you tell that to the brother that was rolled over twice? Right? Tell that to Vanilla Ice. All right? Come on, Snoop. Look, Suge ain't getting out of jail. You ain't got to be scared. All right? Is he getting out?
Hey, man, don't forget that man is a crit.
He don't got
it. Look, stop it. All right? Let's not act like, let's stop it. His negative activity was overshadowed by his positive activity was overshadowed by his negative activity. Get out of here. Then they gonna show a clip of shit talk about like, you know what I'm saying? My friends gonna come through, everybody gonna keep all their contracts. Did you ask Dre about that? That's
a different story, sir.
Oh, so Dre don't care.
That was years after, sir.
And Dre, so we ain't gonna ask Dre about that? Man, get out of here. Try to hear that mess. Look, I ain't got nothing against Suge. Cool, do your thing. But don't come up in here acting like you Saint Suge now. Come on now. Like, stop it. Like, look, let's keep it real.
Yeah, you gotta focus on the positive, man. You're too negative, man.
I need you to put the extendo away right now.
So you gotta focus on the
even
positive.
Nino Brown gave out turkeys, man.
He said even Nino Brown gave out turkeys.
You gotta focus on the positive, man. You're too negative, man.
Talked about how people would be regularly getting beat up in the studios. That's
how they settle beef, man. Better than shooting, right? They settle their beef. It's, throw some fists. It's better than throwing some guns, some bullets.
People grow, man. People grow.
Yeah, they grow into apparently having astigmatism, so they have to run over somebody twice. That's where they grew to. I want you to remember that.
I mean, we weren't there. We don't know the details.
There's
of that.
video, but okay.
There's video. He said,
wait, he didn't roll over? What you saying?
He's saying that tape is doctored.
Yo, is the earth flat, bro?
Might have been defending himself. Who defends himself by running over somebody forward and back and forward, right?
They come back over him, man.
I was not there.
No one's
I'm not defending anyone's actions.
No one
saw the tape.
Saying,
we were all there.
Don't know what
no one is saying that. No one is saying that it wasn't an accident. From how I understand the story, the gentleman was trying to, diffuse the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And just, the accident, the travesty happened.
Travesty. Oh, man.
It was. I mean, it wasn't exactly, it was an accident, but it wasn't like some sort of natural occurrence. It was, a result of some drama that was going on.
All right. Okay.
I don't like to talk about that guy on the show. Because
wait, you're cutting his name out too? It's the last time?
Because it bothers me because when his name comes up, it get kind of jokey, and that just make me feel weird. So
What you think?
What you not a name to be jokey about.
The guy lost his life, not Suge, the guy.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, sorry. I'm not. Yes, the guy lost his life.
Yeah, I'm not you laughing over there. I see you, Mike.
I'm not here to laugh about that. I'm laughing about Snoop acting like this dude was some kind of saint. All right, like, nah, man, y'all just ain't see all the good stuff he did. Because he got overshadowed, man.
No, I don't think. I think that he was trying to make the point. Like, I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at NERDSoul. I'm not mad. I think that he was trying to make the point. He was just basically like saying, like, yo, like if someone is only known for doing this, like, at least let the world know that he did something else other than that. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's
okay.
It.
Yo, Arcka.
All right, maybe.
All right. You know what? How about this?
That's more like the "I man holla." Then that's more like let me know when you do more. Let me know when you do more.
All the West
positive
Coast
in the later part of your, like now and moving on. So then holla, man. Like, all right, man.
All the West Coast rappers, all the West Coast people. You know what I'm saying? You know, shop owners, gang members, whatever. Please send me all the great things that Suge did. Please,
to the east.
Because nobody has ever listed that out. So please send me a list. Send me
so you're saying Snoop Dogg should make a song?
All the grandiose things that Suge did.
Send people millionaires.
You're saying that Snoop Dogg should make a song, a diss record against NERDSoul, is what you're saying?
Yes.
With the receipts.
All I'm saying is,
all right,
there's a term called overshadow, but I'm willing. Y'all saying I'm being unfair, so I'm like, cool. Send me a list. I'm not talking about using having a business where everyone is doing the same exchange. I'm talking about deeds outside of that where he was doing so much good stuff. Show me. Give me a list. That's all. Just give me a list, and I'll read it out. I'll be like, Suge did 1, and Suge did 2, and Suge did 3.
I mean, a lot of people got employed from Death Row, man. I'm just saying, he was employing a lot of people.
You have a bad business deal with Death Row? Is it supposed to be BVL Death Row?
Just saying.
Is it personal?
Okay.
Is
the
I'll say this.
Actions of NERDSoul do not reflect the thoughts of ARCKATRON,
NERDSoul's
Parker
like
Lewiz,
this time it's
or Anwar HighSign. These thoughts are of his own, and we do not agree wholeheartedly with his statements about Suge Knight. Got y'all. I got y'all. Don't worry. I got y'all.
He's like, I got y'all. No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious because dude comes on like we've just been like mischaracterizing this guy. So I'm like, cool. Where are all these stories, personal stories? Because nobody's stopping these people from talking.
Maybe he was a type. Maybe he's trying to say the reason why he like Diddy because Diddy all flashy. He's not that flashy when it comes to the good deeds that he does. So maybe that's why we can't see him because they ain't on video. They ain't all on the TV. They ain't all in the video.
And that's why I said, just send me a whole bunch of stuff.
Snoop gonna send you a reel. He gonna send you a reel.
He got the whole reel. Don't worry.
Yeah, hand delivered. You gonna get a hand delivered reel.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm at I'm being honest. I'm at a point where I'm like, come on, man, let's cut it. Like, come on.
We're gonna send you a reel to reel. Mm-hmm.
But Deep House Nation said, surprised no one ever put a hit out on Suge Knight. Could not have costed that much in those days. And then said, agreed. Hip hop got a few folks rich, but impoverished more through promoting materialism and Anglo-owned brands. Oh, no, you didn't say Anglo-owned, though. Oh, Anglo-owned?
AOB, Anglo-owned brand.
You using this. You taking a third eye.
What is the onus on hip hop? Like, how much of the blame for that is hip hop taking versus every other entertainment medium? I did want to touch on that.
Life. I did want to touch on that because Dr. Dre made a statement about the ears of the youth. He made a statement about the ears of the youth and like hip hop having, kind of like having that attention. And I guess you could say, kind of line that with what you were saying, like, what is hip hop's responsibility or culpability? And is hip hop's responsibility and or culpability different due to where it comes from and the people it represents?
And that's my.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes I can flow on either side with that.
It's definitely a lot higher, and it's not that I get it. It does very literally influence things to the point of complete change. Like I've watched it happen. We've all seen it happen in our towns, in our schools. People changing the way that they speak, the way that they dress, who they like, who they hang out with, how they are. Even, more aggressive things like their tendency toward an appetite for violence. I get that, but is it 100%? Like, is the responsibility 100% on this? Because this is the only thing that ever gets blamed for it.
Yeah, it's well, I'll say this, and then you have that that dumb dude in Chicago. He's writing some bill, or Illinois or Chicago. He's writing some bill about video games. He's calling it the GTA bill, where it's like video games making kids crazy. So it's always going to be music, movies, or games.
I think
hip hop gets it a lot.
I think hip hop gets the most blame because it's still popular. Like, so it's going to get the brunt of a lot of people's eyes and kids' eyes and the impressionable eyes. Same thing with gaming, because gaming is still big. It's still a big community. So I'm thinking like the things that are popular are going to get that blame. That blame, and it's not saying it's right, but it's like, I guess they get more of the blame because it's getting more eyes looking at it, and more eyes are you listening to it and experiencing in a way of entertainment. So I always feel like movies get a little blame, video games got a little higher up, but hip hop is
definitely at the top.
It's definitely at the top, but because it's so popular, like it's very popular around the world. So think how many teenagers. First time I heard hip hop, I was under 10. I'm hearing Doggy Style and 36 Chambers under 10. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what they're talking about.
And I was right at
I'm playing
10.
with Legos still. I don't know what they're talking about.
And I remember, and I ain't going front. I say it all the time. The first time I heard Doggy Style, it was just the intro. And I had my headphones on, and I was
the bathtub intro. Yeah.
I was like, I ain't supposed to be listening to this. I knew immediately. Preacher's kid knew. I was like, I ain't supposed to be listening to this. I'm gonna keep the headphones on. I'm gonna turn this down.
You know what to put the headphones on? Yeah.
I was like, let's turn this down because this is wrong.
Now, my brother, he played Flavor in Your Ear remix,
good, but this is wrong.
Out loud every morning. Flavor in Your Ear every morning.
But it when he said that, it did make me wonder, especially with your statement, like,
I'm right here.
Because I don't want to put it like, like every song you make gotta be like, what I'm saying, Wu-Tang is for the children. But Wu-Tang is for the children. But every song ain't gotta be like, on some like, let's get free. Or should every song be like let's get free due to what's going on now? Like, because for instance, I look at it like this, like, all right, we got COVID going on, right? So normally we wouldn't be trying to push vaccines, but we got COVID right now, so it's a pandemic. So at the pandemic, we got to push it, and then once everything get down and get cool, then we don't have to push it no more. So it's a situation where we should push, kind of like, let's get free, revolutionary, kind of like, I don't know, grassroots kind of organizational Black Pantherish music until we get kind of good, and then we can go back to kind of kicking it? Or should we not at all?
I think I don't know.
Sometimes I honestly think about that stuff.
It should just be the full spectrum, I feel. But it's like, is a full spectrum popular enough to be a full spectrum? Like, do people want the full spectrum?
True. Yeah, because negativity is always going to get.
They do.
I think they do.
We never went through that Matrix experiment to see if that's true, because we never had it where any era where like this, it had more of a wider range of who was getting popular from their music. You know what I mean? Like this, it's
like
you think so? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I do not think so. Actually, the '90s is probably I don't think so.
I can see your skepticism if we're talking about the late '90s.
No, I'm talking about. You said the full '90s. I don't know.
Like I could hear a Get Free record. I could hear a gangster street record. I could hear a regular, a rap record that's just, I'm just like about my rhyming, a lyrical record. I could hear a record from a corny pop dude.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of what those sounds are have evolved and maybe makes it appear like it's a different conversation. Like pop rap in '91 might have been like Father MC. Pop rap today is Drake, and we like it, at least to some extent.
Oh, also shouts for Father MC. You know what I'm saying? Shouts
Big shout out to Father MC.
Shouts to Father MC. But I guess, you know what I'm saying? I guess, and then there is that whole like mainstream conversation, because it's not like music that is grassroots led or music that's like, I don't know, music that's like Let's Get Free isn't getting played or isn't getting made. But it seems like I guess the mainstreamification of it.
Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear that?
I prefer, and I think we had a conversation about this a while back, but I prefer mainstreamed music to have more of a representation of kind of like the fullness of life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Music for Sunday, music for Monday, music for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And at this time, what it seems like I get from the mainstream line is music that's only made for Friday and Saturday. Which depends on like kind of like what playlist you got, what stations you listen to, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff too.
Go ahead.
NERDSoul.
Time, bro.
I'm not speaking.
When has hip hop not been like that?
I make an argument.
People been dancing, man. People been dancing.
Hip hop. I made the argument
moving.
Hip hop has been the full representation since its inception.
No, I'm not saying that hip hop isn't. I think the mainstreamed kind of like representation of it has changed a little bit, where it's a little more narrow than before.
I don't think so.
But at the same time, I check in with radio and top 40 stuff about like once a week or once every other week. And when I look at that,
you gotta remember
top 40 for urban, of course.
NERDSoul, you gotta remember, nobody really listens to radio no more.
Radio ain't the new medium, man. Radio
it's not the medium to justify the credentials.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I'm also checking playlists and stuff like that, like
that's
Spotify playlists and all that.
With streaming being what it is, and music being as accessible as it is, you can literally spend every spectrum today. The access to every spectrum of hip hop is available today.
But the mainstream pushing
is not
the full spectrum. I think that's where sometimes
but I don't think the mainstream ever did, really. I don't think the mainstream ever did. So I mean, should we blame the mainstream or should we blame?
Well, that's why I'm saying like this is a multifaceted problem. Like it's not just like, hey, the kids are crazy, or it's not just like the artists are crazy, or it's not just like the industry's crazy. I think there's parts where like the mainstream is doing a little something, artists might be doing a little something, then social times change a little bit, then kids change a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this is kind of happening in congruence where, you know, maybe like the music isn't as, or the mainstreamification of music isn't as diverse, but the music industry has changed. And the distribution of said music has changed. And then like the people that making the music has changed. And like the people listening and their attention span has changed. So it's like there's a lot of different things kind of going on to where I can make the argument that it is more so diverse now in hip hop than ever before. Okay.
Than ever before.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But we're the main thing was the mainstream part. Like you think the mainstream is more diverse than ever?
Yes.
Is it because
Like,
Wale's
right
in the
now,
mainstream? Is that because of why? Is that why?
Ooh, you took the shot.
Like right now, like look at the game right. Look at hip hop as it stands right now. Right?
Okay.
2021. I'm just looking at the small span of 2021. The biggest album to date so far, other than Help the Bear, the biggest album to date so far is Judas and the Messiah. Judas and the Black Messiah. A conscious-filled soundtrack. Like we have, like it's more like our palates are more invested in diversity now than ever. And just to me, it might just be me. Like, just look at it right now, right? Like in 2020, look at what we listened to growing up. Look at what we allow ourselves to listen to and just allow into our spaces to even listen to now that we would have never even fathomed listening to when we were coming up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, just imagine, just off that alone, I think the landscape of hip hop is more diverse now than ever. Like, it wasn't cool to be of substance all the time. Like, there were pockets in hip hop where substance was king, yes, but it wasn't cool all the time. Now it's cool to talk about stocks now. It's cool to talk about putting on for your hood now. Certain things are cool now. It's cool now to educate yourself about different things. Like, certain things have been made cool in our lexicon now that weren't fathomed being cool back then. You understand what I'm saying? That's why, like, you're
Hold
not
on,
wrong.
Anwar over there. He got something. Anwar got something.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't have anything.
You're cheesing.
I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
Yes, you do. He's smiling. He's smiling too much.
No, I was just having a silly thought, and it was just making me laugh.
All right, well, check this. And I see what you're saying. That's why, and I guess the mainstream is a lot different, because when I say the mainstream now, I'm talking more about kind of like Spotify's promoted playlists, and I guess not Rainbow, radio right after that. But Keith and Jones comes in and says the 80s and 90s was a true movement, unlike today where it's more of a business venture. Deep House Nation said hip-hop was on a course to normalize entrepreneurialism and consciousness. Then it was weaponized by you-know-who, and we right back to square one. Shout out to Tyler Bennett up in the house.
Fun fact, hip-hop has always been about making money since a hip-hop.
No, he didn't say a hip-hop.
There wasn't none of them behind that one. Okay?
Well, I'll say this, that I can remember when I was younger. I remember being able to turn on the radio, which was the mainstream at that time. I remember being able to turn on the radio and hear Public Enemy, NWA, Tribe, Queen Latifah. I'd be able to also hear like Nas, LL, stuff like that. It did seem that there was a more diverse set of voices and opinions in the room. As opposed to what I see on like the promoted playlists these days. But at the same time, I'm not digging through every single thing. And the access to kind of like off the beaten path music is a lot easier now. You know what I'm saying? It's the text of a link now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can text y'all something, you can text me something. My brother sends me stuff all the time, and I can just listen to it right now. It's not like I have to like discover. Well, I mean, you got to discover or something, but it's not as tough as it was. So that changes the game too. Let's see. We Keo said it's been a minstrel show since NWA. The 90s were just as gross. Well, I don't like jumping on the 90s or even now. It's not the worst. I guess it could always be worse, but I mean, it's not like all hope is not lost. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't feel that way. I think there's a lot of great music being made. I don't know if that great music is actually being pushed, but I think there's still a lot of great music being made. That you know what I'm saying, that like you can listen to and like enjoy and can be, you know what I'm saying, be kind of like part of your soundtrack of life. Keithan Jones says, I can't speak for everyone. I enjoy the culture. That doesn't mean I enjoy every artist. Hip hop was a major force in this world. I guess and still is. Deep House Nation comes says, I don't see it. There aren't mainstream Lupes, Poor Righteous Teachers, Queen Latifahs, X-Clans, ATCQ, KRSs, not on the mainstream today. And I guess you could,
but there are. There are, but I don't. We have Kendrick. We have Hope still. Now? Nas is still here. Like, knowledge is still being kicked. It's just done over doper beats, if you ask me.
Keithan said, man, y'all are dogging on everybody. 90s were trash. I didn't say 90s was trash. I don't think 90s was trash. I think 90s had its ups and downs like any other era.
That is the true golden era.
Yeah, it's like 90s had its up and down like everyone. I did want to also comment on how they touched on the legacy of Nipsey Hussle, who was someone who really changed my perception of who he was, because early on my little brother shared me a link of his, and when I first heard him when he was like super early on, I was like, I don't get it. You know, he's the next to rep dude, West Coast guy. He's on street stuff, cool. It's not, all right, whatever. And then I saw him in an interview with something, which is why, like, I'm a person that really likes to get to know the person that's making the music. I saw him in an interview with somebody, and he was just talking about like how he makes his albums, how he structures like the distribution, how he sells them. Also talking about like buying the block back, doing all this. And I was like, let me circle around on his music again. And whatever it was, like it was a couple years or something, but whatever it was, there was a stark change in like his lyrics at that time from when my brother introduced me to him. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, I see you. I see you. Now, I mean, of course, I ain't in no gang, never been in no gang, don't get gang culture. I'm not interested in. But you know what I'm saying? And I'm not scared to say that. I've never been interested in gang culture. Just not, I mean, maybe from a historical standpoint, but outside of that, that's it. So outside of that, I'm like, oh, okay, word. I see where you're going. All right, kid, I see where you're going. This is kind of all right. And then I started to become a actual like follower of his music. And I'm like, yo, kid is actually dropping some stuff. So like, Nipsey Hussle is a perfect example of someone who I would have considered like just like not for me, and like it's kind of like the mainstream street stuff, not for me. I could take a little bit of it, but I'm not always listening to it. Until someone who's like, oh, okay, cool. So now you done brought this new angle to it. Now I'm rocking with you. So it's like someone where I probably would have, well, not even probably would have, someone who I threw away at the beginning. And then later on, maybe like a year or two later, whenever I saw the interview in his career, I was like, yo, all right, he on to something. I mean, he'd slide into his street stuff where I was just like, yeah, man, this one ain't for me. But the change of perspective was really cool, and how he was able to like marry that with a purpose to go further. I always thought was dope. And then of course, like seeing like the small side of like how Big U was like in and out, kind of like helping him and stuff. I thought that was dope, you know, to kind of see some more of just like his perspective on his growth at that time. I thought was really cool. So I thought it was dope. And then I guess the last thing I'd like to end on is, since we kind of touched on it, was the role of social media, and also Deb's kind of stamp on, of course, like Gucci, Nicki, what is it? French Montana, and even Waka Flocka. I mean, people. I mean, I know we clown him. I know I do, but at the same time, Waka Flocka did. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look.
Waka had joints.
He had a couple joints.
No, not a couple. Waka had joints.
Like, you know.
But that just might be. That's just me. Just me.
But it was interesting to see where they were talking about how like the record companies and like the business can kind of get shady and stuff like that, and going from like stepping out of, I guess you could say, like relationship deals of like, yo, look, I got you, you got me kind of thing, to kind of, now it's more of the business side, and I'm just like going on or cutting you off or bringing someone else in and this, that, and the third, where it gets messy. You know what I mean? I think it gets messy. Like, for instance, Waka and Bimmy, I think it gets messy because that seems like an issue that could have been worked out if Waka just had a real conversation with his uncle about whatever it was. I mean, he brought in the new dude for some reason. Whatever it was, just have a real conversation, and then it wouldn't have to be like a falling out kind of thing. But I think there's a lot in here that's shown that it's just kind of missed conversations, and unfortunately, a lot of like not really nailing down what your relationship is going to be between you and this person, whether it's your manager or the managee, I don't know, whatever, the person who's being managed, you know, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Is managee, you know what I'm saying?
All right, managee.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of those situations where I thought like, yeah, a piece of paper, even though it seems weird because it's like this is your best friend or this is your uncle or whatever, a piece of paper would have really ironed out exactly what you expect from me and I expect from you, and we would have been okay. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, maybe not.
People sign a piece of paper and they with each other, and they're not okay right now. There's a lot of people who sign papers.
True, yeah.
So signing the paper don't do much. You know what I'm saying? Chappelle signed the paper with Comedy Central. And that paper was trash, basically. So, but now he's cool. So I'm glad about that.
Yeah.
Good point. So,
paper don't. Yeah, I mean, it's more just a conversation. Probably was needed. A conversation of some sort was definitely needed about the role, and so it was clear. This is what I'm doing for you, nephew. Blah 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 blah. That's it.
And that kid on social media, the little white kid that had the gun and fired in his house, yo, that was hilarious. Because his mom was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I guess his mom didn't know he was like making a TikTok video or whatever he was doing. It was mad funny, and I was like, "Yo,
waving a gun around like an idiot, and then it accidentally goes off."
Yo, look, to anyone who wants to be a tough guy on Instagram or something, if you have a gun, I don't know whether it's loaded or not. You can unload it and safely handle it, and I'll still believe it's loaded. You don't have to have a bullet in there. All right, unload it. Look. When you handle a gun, you should always make sure it is unloaded. I mean, unless you are planning to do something. But if you're making a TikTok video, unload the video. I mean, unload the gun.
There's a safety option on most of these things now.
Well, yes. I mean, some guns have trigger safety, some have thumb safeties. Like, just come on, man. Dude shot around his house.
That man had a revolver, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He had like this, like one of the old school, like the Dirty Harry revolver.
Man. Yeah.
Yo, he shot that joint in his house. Yo, his mom was like, "What are you doing?" That was hilarious, man. Like you just unload it. I'm not gonna know if it's loaded or not. Like, I'm looking at the video. I'm not like inspecting the gun. I'll believe you. Like, stay safe, stupid. Like, oh man. But anyway, Keith and Jones says, just remember these artists are way younger now. They need guidance. Look at what's going on with Shmurda, throwing chains and watches at him. Yeah, they are.
I don't know. The artists back then were young too.
There might be more young artists now, maybe. Because we don't have the same gatekeeping that we did then. So there might be more young, but because Foxy was 15 when she first came into the game, right? So, but
Foxy was 15, Kim was 18, like
yeah. So, but I think the amount of young kids is higher now, maybe. But I mean, it's not like I did a study. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of like going off of, you know what I'm saying, Instagram, you know, like visibility. So, and that's even skewed. Once you get bots and stuff, you be thinking people bigger than they really is. You be like, oh snap, 1 million people watched this video. No, 50 people watched it. And then a whole bunch of click farms in China watched the rest. Like, it's like, so, but, oh man, but with that said, we have exorcised the demons. Is there anything you guys would like to run out from, of course, Hip Hop Uncovered? All right, word.
You know sucked that those were the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I would like to see more.
Yeah,
I think I've seen enough. I think it was well. I think it was enough. Yeah, 6 episodes. How much more do you want to see, sir? 6 episodes. Like,
there's certain things that didn't get touched. Maybe because of the business of politics, it didn't get touched. I would like to see some other things get discussed. And there are a couple other people that have that same kind of influence that those people have that I might want to hear from. Like, just to throw a name out there. Like, I want to hear from Jay Prince in that same setting.
Yeah. I'd like to see a season 2 with, like, you know, 5 other people or whatever.
Like, I want to hear him talk. I want to hear Boston George talk. Like, I want to hear people that were connected in the game without being in the game. I want to hear their contributions to the game. Just me.
Word. Well, for me, I think I'd be down for a season 2. Anwar ain't feeling it. He was like, "Nah, bruh." He's like, I think I'd be down. I think I'd be down with, like, you know, like 4 or 5 new people in season 2. Tyler Bennett said, "Ever heard of that dude named Vlad?" I hope you ain't. Come on, man. Come on, Tyler. Come on. You always come in here with that mess. All right.
Not today, Tyler. Not today.
Not today. We ain't messing. Look, come on. And honestly, you know what? To a certain degree.
Shout out though, Tyler.
Shout out to Tyler Bennett. The only thing is, to a certain degree, I can't even blame him because people keep running on his channel. Don't, man. Like, don't get me started. Don't.
Please, fam. We and you actually agree on this one, NERDSoul.
He's corny.
Beyond.
Anyway, with that said, in the bottom square, you know him, you love him, Wig Slicer himself, Hydro Thunder champion, 1999 and 2000, also 2001. That's right, ARCKATRON.
Hey, y'all. Also Street Fighter champion, Mortal Kombat champion of the world. If you want them sticks, I can give you sticks or the hands, whatever you want. Ooh. You can find me at ARCKATRON, ARCKATRON.com. Right now, I'm working on the inner section with the great creative director, Khadija Ahmadiyya. We're doing, it's a multimedia, so it's going to be a film. So that's all I can say right now, but it's going to be dope. A couple collaborators too, and here in the background, in the foreground. So you'll see that very soon, coming this fall, y'all. Peace. I'm out.
Yeah. He said I'm out. And in the diagonal square, you know him, Vanessa Bell Calloway's first love, Anwar HighSign.
Hey, bro. Hey. Good talking with y'all this weekend. I mean, this week. You know what I'm saying? This weekend, if you're watching it this weekend. Yeah. That's all right. I got nothing. I'm chilling.
Over here.
I am on my level.
Right here, the conspiratorial one. PL Parker Lewiz.
Hi, guys. Thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for paying attention. Thank y'all for coming through and showing us love every Wednesday. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Help the bear out now. I know where somebody should have been this weekend, but I ain't gonna say no more after that.
Nah, go ahead and say it, man.
No, I ain't gonna say
you
no
say
more.
It, buddy. Hey, pal.
I ain't saying no
Don't
more.
you
Help
say
the bear
it, pal.
available everywhere now.
Everywhere. So NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. I will say, quick announcement. We were supposed to talk about Black Lightning tonight. There's been a scheduling issue with Clement Bryant, so we're gonna push it till tomorrow. But we will talk about Black Lightning, man. We here, we done seen it. We gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We know what's going on.
We not gonna talk about it. You gonna talk about it.
No, me, Clement, we gonna talk about it.
Yeah, y'all gonna talk about it.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. Hit the thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit that thumbs down if you don't. But if you don't, I'm gonna send Big U after you. And Big U don't play.
Ooh, man, you might as well hit that like, bro.
He on video jumping in the fight.
You better hit that like, bro.
Bro,
you remind me of like Zangief. He just wrestle and toss you around.
Yo, I saw him jump in that fight. I understand from a street standpoint, but when he jumped in that fight, I was like, yo, man, I understand from a street standpoint, but you too old for this, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, I know you got to do what you got to do, but
you can't be 40 now. You're
too old for
big fights and stuff. Like, come on, man. You're too old. 40 plus should not be getting no big fights and like you bleeding.
You should be able to talk it out at this age.
Come on, man.
It
but
should be like extreme that you have to like.
It must have been extreme for him. He just went for it. Like, yo, it's 15 dudes. I
was like, there was 15 of them. Homie said, I assess the situation.
When you have like,
man, just speak, man. Stop hammering the horn, man. Come on.
Nah, cause it's like
there no codes over here.
You gotta stand on stuff, and it led to him getting paid. They cashed him out, and the neighborhood.
Yeah, they did give him $200,000. So
got packed out, then got cashed out. I'd say you made out pretty well.
And they shut down Hollywood.
Yeah,
they did.
So nobody was allowed to make any money.
So, hey, look, podcast if you want to listen, Spotify for that music. And speaking of music, we're going to leave y'all with some ARCKATRON. But first, a little preview of that Help the Bear. It's in stores everywhere.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Holla at Parker Lewiz.
Supersize?
A little piece of that Help the Bear. You know what I'm saying? Going out there and get it. From us, you would say thanks for watching, and we out. Peace.
Peace.
That's right. Help the Bear, y'all. Look, y'all. Woo is for the children. Parker Lewiz is for the children. We out. Peace.
I'm the man, yes, sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for our label to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the Parker Lewiz.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dollars rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from hunger.